Good morning, everybody. Mike Wright, Edge Home Finance. I'm super excited you all joined us for the Realtor of the Week, and I'm super stoked to meet I'm going to truly be honest, a brand new friend, partner, etc., Chad Eckert. I appreciate you coming on, being the Realtor of the Week, my friend.
Hey, thanks for having me. This is fun.
Yeah, excellent. Chad's with Edina Realty, and I know we've done a lot of EXP people, but so I'm happy to get a different flavor, right? And
Another big box realtor.
yeah, you know what though? I mean, here's the deal. Yes, there's a name, right?
Yeah, the name
and it's been
recognition
an
is important.
enormous name. Judd is a friend. You've got John Smaby, his beautiful wife.
Yeah, so John Smaby actually was the first manager I had. So I'm out of the 50th in France office. I've been there my entire career. My mother has been out of the 50th in France office as well for about 18 or 19 years. So that's part of the reason I didn't really have a choice. I was told this is where we're going to hang your license. So Smaby was my manager for the first 30 days of my license, and then all of a sudden he became the president of the National Association of Realtors and was like, goodbye. So that was like, wait, what? Little rug pull. So I got really used to new manager, then new manager, and the change of the brokerage, and realizing that, no, this brokerage is there to help you, but no, it's up to you to be the realtor. Edina Realty is important, but each individual and how they run their business is going to be separate, totally different, depending on which brokerage you're out of. It doesn't matter.
Well, ultimately, it's you.
Yeah.
Right? And it's your marketing, and we'll dive into your marketing and all this stuff. Tell us a little bit about your family. I mean, are you from here?
Oh, yeah. So, like I said, I work with my mother. The line that I use is, my brothers are not jealous, if that says anything. But no, family, it's fun to work with your family. But at the same time, without her, I don't think I would have gotten into real estate. I think that because of her, I felt more comfortable knowing that going into the first couple years of my career, I'd have a mentor. I'd at least be able to say, can I say this? Or how do I do this? And someone would help you. Again, the manager, everyone's going to be able to help you. Like, you can ask anybody in the office. Most people are nice and whatever. But having your own mother tell you and been in it for a dozen years, that helps a lot. So I have her as a realtor. My dad was in mutual funds, so I know the value of buying a home and what it means to your wealth. So I think part of the reason why I wanted to get into real estate also is because my father said, well, if you could sell anything, you might as well sell the most expensive things that anybody could buy.
Yeah.
So ultimately, real estate is where I thought I should go. I grew up in Edina, so I went to Edina High School, cake eater. Decided and I actually met an Edina woman outside of Edina, so in college.
Yeah.
And we got married, and we both determined that we're not going to go back to Edina, so we live in Plymouth now.
Perfect.
But I'm still out of the 50th in France office, so I can't get away from driving down Wooddale, 50th in France.
50th in France.
So I'm
Chaos.
there daily. But so at home right now with my wife, I got 3 kids. We're in between. Well, this could date the recording of this, but we're in between my son's 2nd birthday and my other son's 7th birthday.
Wow.
So busy
2,
month. And then
7.
I got another kid in between the 2. So I got a daughter in between. So 3 kids, boy, girl, boy, married, happy wife, happy life, out there in Plymouth. And then, what's funny is I lived in Bloomington forever, which I called South Edina. And then I ended up, because I was working in 50th in France. My parents are still living in Edina, and when you're showing houses, you got to drop the kids off randomly if you don't have daycare, like we don't. Either way, so I said, I need to buy a house with 4 bedrooms on 1 level once we ended up with this 3rd kid. We networked through other realtors, and one morning I walked into the office, and realtor said, hey, there's a 4-bedroom on 1 level house in Plymouth coming on the market. This agent has this listing. And I was like, Plymouth? Like, I don't want to live in Plymouth.
Yeah,
in my head, I'm like,
right?
Plymouth's so far away.
Yeah.
Ultimately Googled the address, and it was like South Plymouth. So when I tell people Plymouth, I'm like, no, not up there by Corcoran. Closer to the cities, like the real.
We're off 494.
People
It's good.
No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, so Plymouth now, wife and 3 kids. enjoying it.
Excellent. You say you're busy as hell. This kid's keep you going.
Yes. Yeah, never ends. Always. Actually, we're just starting the sickness phase of the year. Just got over a couple of colds, but no, we're great. It's fun. There's never a dull moment.
It's your why.
It's just like also, gives me a reason to get into the office, go out there and make that money, sell those houses, because got to pay for those kids and all the stuff that comes with that. So, yeah.
So tell me, because you got these two guys that I talked about with Judd and Smaby and Linda Smaby.
Yep.
They're amazing, so experienced. How much do you bank on them? John has been a friend for a long time, super experienced, super successful. Same with Judd.
Oh, yeah. Oh, especially when you're new, when you don't know anything. So
Right.
you're faking it until you make it in a
Yep.
lot of ways. And they truly encourage you to fake it more than you really want to in your gut. Like I like to know what I'm doing before I go out there and tell people, hey, use me as a realtor. I want to show I can do with the job.
Yep.
Whereas Smaby was they don't know if you can't do the job. Just go out there and get it done. So I'd say earlier in your career, just listening to their advice, or maybe even just going, I do say not necessarily your manager, but going to the top agents in your brokerage or in your office and just asking them if you could either partner with them, be on their team, maybe even just take them out to coffee. I think that's a big learning experience. Just get out there and talk to other agents. Don't be afraid to get in their groups, their teams. I think that would be the best.
Well, it's brilliant. That's a message that has resounded with a lot of these people that we are talking to, and it's brilliant because you can't. It's not like anybody's reinventing the wheel. Right. Social media is social media. Knocking on doors, calling. What differentiates you compared to the other? I don't know the number. 5,000, 10,000.
Less now this year.
Yeah, I know.
Actually,
I know.
Statistically.
So what has been your take on this? Because this will be your almost a first market time where...
No, this will come out potentially on my anniversary of getting my license for 10 years. So
10 years.
So in November of 2013 is when I got my license. And actually it was maybe what I said. I had another job. It was a dumb job. And he was like, I said, hey, I think I'm going to get a real estate license with my mom. And he was like, oh, cool. Okay. And I'm like, yeah, I'll probably end up getting it every week, do the weekend thing in March or so, in the spring when the market's getting hot or whatever. This is October at the time. And he was like, no, you quit your job right now. You get a license. It'll take you 10 days or whatever. And I was like, I should. And then I'm like, but what about getting into the market during November? This is a terrible time, which really probably was a terrible time because obviously more houses sell in the spring.
Yep.
But that gave me months to prepare and months to market myself. Hey, look at me. I'm actually got a license now. And maybe you'll need me in 6 months when the market comes back. So ultimately, you just got to jump in 2 feet, listen to the people that are telling you, don't fake it till you make it. It's easily
What are some? What has been your success? What is your marketing? Is it social media?
Here's what you need.
Yep.
You need to marry someone that has 13 cousins, and that she's the oldest,
right? Because
they're all getting married, and then they're all buying houses, starter homes, and then those people are having kids. So it's been kind of funny actually. That's very important. Also, have a really social wife.
Yeah.
Now, I'm more of an introvert, and I do have my friend groups and stuff like that, but I never went out of my way to build a giant community of friends in college. I wasn't a part of a fraternity or anything like that. So my main sources of human interaction are fantasy sports groups or just pickup basketball groups. So there's only a dozen or so people in those areas of grouping. But my wife, huge into the church, going and volunteering and doing things with dozens and hundreds of other mothers and other people her age that are in positions of transitioning from first houses to second houses. So I've had a lot of luck by marrying the right person. But at the same time, at the same time, also get into what your mother does, because then she doesn't want those $200,000 crystal houses that she has to show in the middle of winter. So I was like, I'll take those. But there's no right or wrong way to do it. I think
Yeah.
ultimately you may think like, I need this way or I won't become a good realtor, or I have to have social media or I will not be good at real estate. And I don't think anything's true. I think everyone can do it in their own way and they can find their path, I think.
So, you being an introvert, right? This is a wicked business, right?
Oh my
I
gosh.
mean, Jake and I talk all the time where during the day we kind of get that extrovert out. When we get home, it's just like, just let me just leave me alone type deal. Has it been hard for you to be a realtor coming out of that introvert mindset?
Yeah, in a way. A lot of it involves faking like how popular you are or cool you are, or like showing off something, or like, but I decided I'm not going to go out of my way to like pretend I'm that person, because I
Good.
can't be that person. So I've tried to stick with the, like, I know this individual, so I'm going to work specifically with this individual on what they need. And then I also am not in the position that I need 40 clients a year. So if I can really focus on the 15 clients every year, why do I need to go out of my way to try to find 400 things when I can? So I at the beginning of my career, going out of my way to do those like mass group meetings, like let's meet up for a beer, first time home buyer seminar, and put like $500 towards a table at a restaurant and like do all this flyering and things like that. That's not what works for me. I think what I've noticed is that I'll go out of my way to buy something specific for a client, or go out of my way to invite a client to do something specific, and just go after the individuals. And that works better for an introvert than doing the extrovert stuff.
Yeah.
So that's
I
kind of
like it. I mean, but that's self-realization, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the, I'm going to use John only because he's a friend. He is an amazing person because he knows everybody in the entire city of Edina, right?
Okay.
And around. But then he takes it into a national, you know,
the
deal.
same mentality. Yeah.
I mean, it was so cool to see how many people appreciate him. We've got a guy here, Tom Hollis, that is that deal, right? But it's whatever floats your boat, right? And at least you've adhered to it. Is it hard working, one, with your mother, but second of all, Edina, that office, 50th in France, is successful. I mean, there are some hitters. Do you feel like, oh, I got to be like them? I want to be, you know?
Oh, in a way. So it's a lot of, okay, COVID helped me in a lot of ways, because for the first, so I started in 2013, so you give 7 years before this COVID market changed things. So for 7 years, I felt like I was always behind, and I was always like, oh, what is that trend? What is that woman doing? What is that guy doing? How are they successful? And like reacting to the market and to the dynamics of the industry. And so, and seeing my mother, this is how we do it. This is how it's done. This is the way it goes. And so I'm like, so when COVID happened, it like pretty much flipped everything on its head. And a lot of those agents that had sort of dictated the way that the industry went, they kind of like threw their hands up like, oh, well, what I used to do doesn't necessarily maybe work anymore. So that really helped me, where I'm like, okay, I got 7 years into it. I've seen what all these people can do. And you know what? I know how to change it now that it's a different market, and I can actually use this to my advantage, where I can say this because my mother's one of them. These people that have been in it 20 years that are just stuck in their ways, they're kind of screwed. They're in trouble now, in a way. So
because everybody's stuck at their homes.
Yeah, because they're kind of
you got to
wondering,
figure out how to pull them out.
And the strategies are so different. So, which was, I really wish that I would have leaned into my gut feeling about the COVID market, where like, you should have encouraged people to buy, maybe, or you should have not been afraid to do open houses, because the people that are out there are true clients that don't even care who you are. They're like, I just need a warm body to sign this contract for me because I want to buy this house. And so a lot of the agents that weren't afraid, or they kind of took advantage of this in the moment. So I saw a little bit of this coming up, and so I kind of was like, listen, I'm gonna start doing things a little bit differently now, which definitely helped the business overall. So I don't know what I was saying with that.
But well, but I think your talents social media wise and pulling some people out. You're not handshaking all the time, but with the COVID, it was crazy because you couldn't even barely get into a home.
Right.
So a lot of those open houses were done via Zoom or Facebook or Facebook Live.
Or, yeah.
And many of us, I'm using us because I'm your mom, right? They didn't have these skills. They're thinking social media, whatever.
Right.
You took it by the bull by the horns, and it's made success out of it.
And so like working with other agents in your office and partnering with them is a great idea, because you may think like this isn't how real estate works, or this is how real estate is, and this is how transactions go down. But in a lot of times, like I've noticed that. So, you can there's ways to find money out there where agents don't want to show a house, so then just do it and get 25%. Or like, they're not trying to have this listing so you have to have the connections with the agents in your office in order to find money in a way. So it's just another way, just as much as finding clients on your own, finding partnerships to find clients
within your
office
office
as vital. I don't know.
So are you Edina, again, has got a number of agents, right? You're helping one another. Similar to how you found a home. Right?
So what happened was...
houses coming on the market.
Yeah, so I had 2 kids. It was growing great. I had 3 bedrooms on one level. No problems at all, right? So then you have the third kid, and that throws a wrench into the whole...
No longer one-on-one.
This kid's sleeping in a crib next to my wife and I. We got to get 4 bedrooms. So ultimately, I tried to time it. I tried to time it perfectly, because I was like cocky agent here. I'm going to put my house on the market in March, and then I'm going to dictate whoever buys my house is going to have the longest closing ever, and it's going to be flexible and and then I'm going to take advantage of the May and June inventory, and I'm going to find my house then and not have to pay the March premium.
Yep.
So I do this. I put my house on the market in March. It sells in the first weekend. But now I have a countdown, right? So, and my wife is like, why did you do that? What is going on? We sold our house, but we don't have a house. And so then I, cocky agent, go around to my office and I say, hey, I need a house. I've sold mine. I'm non-contingent. Or like I was going to do maybe a rent back so that I was literally non-contingent. So either way, go around the office. The reaction from almost everybody in the office was, well, why did you do that?
Yeah.
Why did you sell your house before you have a house to buy it? I'm like, I'm trying to time it. Do you understand the March here and then the May with the more inventory? Do you understand this? And they're like, but what if you don't find one? I'm like, I will.
I don't, yeah.
So like the reaction, I was like, so I went home and I was like, was this a terrible idea? All these agents who are more experienced than me, like, they say this is stupid. So I'm scared. But ultimately, my conversations with those people and the, like, what did you do? It made a lot of those agents think of me when it came to, I have a house, or I heard about a house. So then I missed the morning meeting where this woman networked the house that I own and living in now. So I missed the meeting. I was like showing a house. So I came in at 9:50 and the meeting's over at 10. So I like walked in at the end and this dude whispers to me, he's like, Susan's got a house, 4 bedrooms on one level. I'm like, where is it? He says, Plymouth. And that's when I go, oh, Plymouth? Like, I don't really want to live in Plymouth.
Yeah.
But so I was like, cool, I'll ask her after the meeting. So I got the listing. I said, do not even network this, because I got the address and I went and Googled the house and I was like,
loved it.
Don't even network this. I'm going tomorrow. And so I literally met there the next day, bought the house, and it didn't go on the market. So it worked out.
But I think that
that's a different strategy.
I think that the market has almost to the point now where you got to find a home first before you sell yours, because yours is going to sell lickety split. But
and then the COVID, the people there were like, don't do that. And even the reaction I got in March of a year and a half ago now, that it's different. It would be different now today if I would have been like, hey, I sold my house and I'm looking for one to buy. They'd be like, oh, okay, where are you going to look? Instead of like, the hell are you doing that for?
Right.
So I want my clients to be able to buy houses that other people want.
Yep.
And like that there's a bidding war on. Like ultimately, I don't want, you really want this one? Nobody wants this one. Like, let's lowball it. Like, what kind of house is that? That could be a sad situation to sell. So a lot of this craziness has been really fun for me over the last year and a half, because I got really good at the strategy of winning for my clients. So then I knew what it took to psychologically talk to these agents and tell them, hey, I'm your buyer. I'm the buyer's agent. I'm the perfect agent for you. Like we're chill. We're good.
Yeah.
He's a real human. I'm a real human. Let's human. So then, so we're I want my buyer to look me in the eye and say, don't lose this house for me.
Right.
I will kill you if we don't own this house at the
Right.
end. And so that's my favorite. Again, you can, lose a house, but then maybe it's worth losing. So there's, a point where you don't want to be stupid. But at least then I knew, hey, client, this is what you got to do. I know it sounds stupid, but so like we get to a point where and then that's the best part is like I know I got to a point where my client can make the decision then, and then it's not on me at that point.
Right.
Like, do you want to pay this much for whatever reason for this house? Go for it. If not, we can walk away because someone else is going to do that. Now we've learned, and now we're going to go to the next one.
I think that there's wisdom in that and respect that you listen.
Yeah.
You listen to your clients because ego, we talked about this a number of different times, is wicked. We all have our egos. Here's your house. No, wait, dude. Why are you saying
a lot of agents
Yeah.
probably get into the business to show their ego off in a way.
Yeah.
The Instagram is a great way to do it. Drive a nice car. Lease yourself a white BMW,
Listening is a key deal. And, you do an amazing job at that.
Yeah, so it's fun when you can win for your client. I mean, that's the ultimate goal. Is like, so the biggest success story I had, I want to just talk one success story of a client. Okay,
that's great.
So my clients are, looking at the 650 price range or whatever. Like everybody's going to buy these houses. And in fact, it was the type of house that for my family was looking for. So I really knew this market, the 600, 700, 4 bedrooms on one level, good school districts, whatever. So this house comes on the market on a Thursday or Friday morning or whatever, and so we see it, and it's got everything. It's perfect. It was 600 list price or something, like sort of like at the time where they were just throwing prices out, saying like this is a suggested price. It's definitely going to go more than this. We just don't know how much people are going to pay because this is a crazy market. So it was 600. So we're like, oh God, what do we have to pay for this house to win this house? This is Friday night. Get the notification from the agent, best and final, due Saturday at 5 o'clock. So I call my client. I say, hey, listen, there's a best and final due at 5 o'clock tomorrow. What should we offer? Well, what should we offer? I'm like, well, how much would you pay for this house? And the guy's like, I don't know. Is 700 too much? And I'm like, probably, but like, I actually don't know. We could write an appraised value and like do this stuff. And like at the time, this was not even thought about.
Right.
And so I say to him, I'm like, let's try this. This is Friday night. I just got the notice that there's a best and final due Saturday. So I say, who cares? This notice is due. Let's just give them a blank offer and say, whatever you want to do, however much you want to do this for, because I doubt the seller in their head thinks they're going to get 700. This is like, that would literally blow this $100,000 more at the time where that never happened once.
Right.
So this person's like, you're going to give them an offer with no price in it? And I'm like, sure. I've never done this, but let's try this. So I sent an offer on Friday night. I said, here's your offer. It's got a blank price. Tell your seller, write the price in. But we have to do this tonight, even though you sent the notifications due tomorrow. The person writes 670, and we say signed. My person would have gone to 700. So I was like, whoa! I just saved this person 30 grand in their head. So the funniest story is part of the story is I did an open house the exact next day, had a multiple offer house that I had a listing, and all the agents are there, and they're like, "Are you doing a best and final?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm doing a best and final," and blah blah. And there's one guy, he's a pretty popular agent. I know who he is, and he's like, "You better adhere to that best and final date and time, because I don't want to get my client's rug pulled from under them." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "Yeah, it's happened to me yesterday. A client of mine, we were waiting to do this best and final, and all of a sudden I got a notification that they accepted an offer." I'm like, "What's the address of this house?" And it was the house that I had written the blank offer on, and I was like, "Are you kidding me?" I go, "That was my client that won." And he's like, "Did you write for over 700? I go, "No." And he goes, "My clients would have written for over 700. And I'm like,
"Oh, wow.
Whoa, buddy." So that was just like the best. So I got to be like, "Oh, cool, I won." And I like saved my client a bunch of money. So that in itself, like you get paid, obviously, from the commission, but like winning and doing that for your client is just like ultimately awesome. And then I expect those people to go brag to their friends about that situation.
Correct.
And we're like, "How did you get this cool house
Yeah.
for $670 in this market?" oh, listen to this, So like I'm trying to get out of
The norm.
yeah, like no offense to my mom, but like the way it's been done may not necessarily be the best way to do it.
One of the coolest things that Jake and I get to experience when we do these things is we learn some of this stuff. I mean, the old school, new school, whatever the case may be, you got to be creative with this stuff. I mean, it's a tough business.
Yeah.
And what differentiates you from everybody else?
Yeah.
And I mean, you can, I know you do a great job social media wise. You're so well connected with the families of your wives and all these other people, but it's your creativity, your years of experience. We're going to give mom props, but it's her experience too. And it's maybe, and it's Judd, but you're smart enough to absorb it.
Right. No, the new school way of doing things like social media and stuff, that is necessary. But
Yep.
there are parts of the old school way of doing business that are completely necessary. I have found that calling and using the phone and using your voice is the biggest asset to my business. I am very excited when someone will actually talk to me because I can
Versus
get to that,
a text
I
or
can get to that
email,
human level, and I
Yeah.
can kind of tell if they're lying. I love the psychological chess to play with these other agents too.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, we all have the same end goal: get the most we can for our clients at the end.
Yep.
And look, I'm telling you, I can give you more than other people, or we're communicating about this ahead of time. Then everyone will win in the end. My client will get the house, or my client will get the best offer, and your client will sell for the highest offer, or whatever. This is just like easy to do versus how many offers do you have? 5.
Yeah.
What does the 5 mean? They have 5? Are any of them just insane, or are they all cash? What's the reaction when you say, like, what if I give you $650? What if I give you a blank offer? Oh my gosh, I'm at a hockey tournament and I have no way of doing that. So blah blah blah. I can do that. I can write that for you right now if you're gonna do it for us right now.
Yeah.
I would not have known that through a text message, or this person may not reveal this stuff to me as much as they will on the phone. So get on the phone.
I like it. And I have these conversations with my kids all the time. Messages, whether it's email or text, can get jacked up fast and misinterpreted, etc. So to hear that you got the personality to do that, I don't care, old school, new school, it's brilliant.
But the thing is like right away, I'm like, I'm not getting on the phone. Oh my gosh, no. Like you do have, and my mom's like, get on the phone with them. Just call this person. And I'm like, okay. But after about 6 months of being the guy that gets on the phone, like you actually are excited to get on the phone, or like, I'm not texting this person. As soon as I leave this house, I'm getting in my car and I'm calling them, and you're like, and then you like develop, they said that, I know they're lying, or they said this, and I know what that means. Actually,
Becomes an art.
Yeah, so this is
negotiations.
Just like, practice it, get better at it.
Well, and I find it with listings, right? Because you send out a pre-approval. And it freaks me out on how many listing agents don't call.
Never call.
I call them, and they're like, "What are you doing? What are you doing? It's Friday night. Whatever." Yeah. But to have that comfort level of here's a person, a human, that and you're local, answered. And it's like what
No, it's big.
So I, in closing, give me I know you've mentioned a couple things. What do you tell these new people that are coming into the office, ready to get potentially, beat
honestly,
up?
I'd say get a different job, honestly. Sorry. Don't become a realtor.
So much for the Realtor of the Week, ex-Realtor of the Week.
No, there are, a few new agents every month in our office, and I see them and I wonder about them and everything like that. But I would do exactly what I did. I would find a person of older age, more experience, and I would ask them to either help them be on their team if they have a team, maybe take them out for coffee, ask them specific questions about what you're specifically dealing with. But really, just go to the teams. I'd be on a team. Like my mom, honestly, like we just formed the team formally. Like it was more just individual doing our thing.
It's a great logo. It's a cool setup.
Google it. Okay, so then there was like 5 years into she's like, you probably could benefit more by being on a bigger team, and like would tell me that. And I'm like, I'm not leaving my mom to go to a different team. Like that's weird. But if you don't have a mom that's in the real estate business, like why would you go and be Chad Eckert Realtor. Just go join giant team, learn everything for a few years. So I got a couple friends that have done that routine.
Yeah, of course.
And then, you know, at first I'm like kind of jealous because they've got this consistent, they look like they're showing houses, they look like they have clients, they're actually getting like maybe a salary, I don't even know. So that was at the first few years, I'm kind of jealous of those people that joined teams and did that way. And then once you kind of establish, you've got a dozen real consistent clients or something like that, then you can say bye-bye to the team and start your own little group.
Well, I admire you for doing what you're doing, where you're doing it. It's crazy.
Thanks.
Coming up on 10 years, right? But now all of a sudden I'm listening and going, man, maybe you have become maybe, you know? I mean, I know behavior, you know, all that other stuff.
I'm not maybe.
He's a great...
Maybe is one of a kind.
You know, we will talk about the stories later, but you know, I know like Scott Staubach from, you know, out in Wayzata, he works with it, and it's a great combination, you know, and so I admire you for doing that. Keep up the hard work. I mean,
thanks,
like
thanks for having me. I appreciate it,
I
Jake.
mean, Realtor of the Week. So the great story is, like I said, I just got the opportunity to meet Chad, and I love it. But I tell Jake, you know, I got this guy coming on tomorrow. He is super cool. Comes on instantaneously. We just talked yesterday. I'll see you at 1. And so I send Jake the notice. Jake sends him a text, and Chad's like, dude, how did you even freaking know I'm coming on, you know?
Right?
Small world, my friend.
Make
and
friends, right, Jake?
Well, and it's all reputation, right?
Crazy coincidence.
Yeah.
Well, but it's the rapport and it's the reputation. So I appreciate you coming on as the Realtor of the Week, my friend.
Thank you.
I got to freaking try to figure out how to do that deal, you know. But thank you very much for coming
thank you
on.
for having
We
me.
truly
Appreciate
appreciate you. All you guys, thank you very much for listening. Obviously, Realtor Connect, we're growing. Ask your friends to join this thing. It's important. Chad's going to be, you know, expanding this thing into the Diner Realty Group on 50th in France. We do have an Instagram page there. It's Realtor of the Week, all one word. YouTube, Realtor of the Week, all separate words. Thank you very much for coming. Chad, thank you, my friend. I appreciate you.
Like and subscribe.
Peace.
Let's go.